Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sieve from TechDragon.info, and today we are taking a look at Magneticraft. Now, before we get started, there are two mod dependencies. If you want to install this, links will be in the description down below. If you just go to the CurseForge page and then go to the Relations and then Dependencies tab, you'll see exactly which mods you need. So they're right there. You don't have to search for them. They're in there. So just keep that in mind. So all I have installed is those three mods, so the two supporting mods as well as Magneticraft, and some JEI to make just life simpler. So we'll start off here with just a couple of blocks, decorational potentially. There's some really nice ones. Like it's just a little bit darker than, where is it? Well, the cracked is technically not cracked, but there it is. Stone brick. So as you can see here, it's a little bit darker, not a whole lot, but just a little bit. So that's nice. And some kitchen floor here, pretty nice. So let's get started and dive right into this mod. I'm gonna go over most of the things in this mod and just describe briefly and go through how they work and how you can operate them. So we'll start off right here because then we can get rid of the cows. We have a feeding trough. You put wheat in basically, and you right click the wheat in. See it? It's in there. Now one thing to keep in mind, as you can see, this thing is pretty damn filled, right? Well, that is because, as far as I can tell, this thing does not uphold a limit of any sorts. At least not very clearly. So, yeah. It's just... That should be enough. Okay. Now we got some peace and quiet. Now we can continue with the rest of the mod. So we'll basically go sort of in order of progression of some sorts. So we'll start off over here with the sluice box and with the hammering. You have different types of hammers. They basically dictate the speed, and haven't per se tested this out, but I'm pretty sure that the steel one just has more durability as well, as far as I can tell as well. So basically slowest but functional, fastest, highest durability. So we'll take one of those. We'll take this is basically your early game, right? So you basically take those and you hammer it on there. I'm trying to see where it's actually listed in JEI. Now I did hear that the sluice boxes currently have, here it is, a crushing table. The sluice box, which we'll get to in a sec, is currently, the recipe is broken as far as I can tell. Really? There we go. So one thing to note, let me grab a stack here so I can show you. So whenever we start right-clicking this, you see how it's taking just the next item and putting it on there? So you can just hold down your mouse and keep doing this. So very convenient early game. It's not like you're gonna have to go like place, switch, place, you know. You can just keep hammering, which is a really nice feature. So then the next thing, now you can see some stuff around here and I'll explain it in just a moment. This thing, as you can see, it does not have an interface. What you have to do is you take the clumps that you get from hammering and you just toss them in here. As you can see, it will put 10 in at a time, I do believe. And then you grab some water. So you basically click this top bit, and let me stand over here so you can sort of see it. I want to stand away so you can clearly see it, and you basically click that, and look at that. That's so cool. Basically waters it, and boom. Now, I have automated this as best as you can for early game. These two are probably not required necessarily. Well, you can see right now they are because I have this feeding through. But this is probably enough, and then you can just pick up your stuff from here. As you can see, I've done some testing. So that's the only way I've found so far you can automate this. I tried in every possible way with just this mod and vanilla, but I cannot automate the water pouring. Like I tried droppers and stuff, it just doesn't work. So that you'll have to do yourself. But at least you can do the picking up part automated, and you could, you know, feed it into your furnace or whatever. So basically these things go into a furnace, and we'll get back to that later. Furnace is over there, but first off I want to show you one more neat thing. Let's say that you're just hammering down a lot of this stuff and you want to be as efficient as you can. So what you can do is you can put stuff in here and you can put stuff in there and have them set up like this, and you can have more than just 2. It's basically infinite technically. And you pour water in there, as you see, it will wash down all the way. So that's pretty cool. Like that will actually wash down fully into multiple if you have them set up like that. So that's a really neat system. Now, I guess we'll head in this direction. So let's take a look here. These things are the blueprints. You guys use these basically to build. So when you grab that blueprint, this is by the way the steam engine, you grab the blueprints and you place it, you basically get this sort of crate looking thing, and you get all these ghost blocks. These ghost blocks will basically tell you, well not basically, they'll tell you exactly what you need. So here you can see it, you can read in a book what they actually are, or you just grab JEI, type in Magneticraft, and you'll basically see all the blocks except for these bricks because they're just vanilla. Let's set it today here. So basically you can just, if you don't want to read the book, if you just want to go by, okay, what is it? You can just go into, okay, so you need this particular block, iron gates, you know, that's those. And these has, well, it has some sort of cross at the top, so you just go looking through here, it's like, oh, there it is, support column. So that's how you can do it if you don't want to read the book. But the book is actually quite descriptive. I don't have one on me right now. Let me grab one so I can at least show you the book real quick. There it is. I'm going to place the hammer, we don't need that anymore. You can see here there's just a lot of stuff in this book. Getting started basically tells you about the sluice box, that sort of stuff. Machines. And the book is pretty comprehensive. So we'll basically go through most of this. Now, coming up to the next, it's ugly. I know it's ugly, but just bear with me. I just want to set this up. So one more thing to note. If you place this thing down, I place this at ground level. There's actually 2 blocks that are below ground level on this thing. So keep that in mind when you're placing this. And if you're wondering why it won't build, you can right click it and it will tell you which block is incorrect. So now we get to basically one of the earlier game and later game terms of power for now. There's still going to be a lot of changes to this mod. I'm currently running the 0.1 version of this mod. Let me check real quick. Yeah, I'm running the 1.12-2.1.1, I do believe. Version of this mod, which is currently not out in public just yet. There's a couple of fixes in here. Really hate the ring. Going. So this will be probably out, be out tonight as far as I can tell. So let's continue on here. Basically what we got here is a, let's take a look. We have in here, we have a combustion chamber, we have a boiler on top, we have some iron pipes, we have a water generator, which is not that expensive to make. You can see it here. Plates, if you wonder, you basically put an ingot on the table here and you hammer it. That's how you can get plates. So if you're wondering how to get those, that's how you do it. Basically, you place in this kind of orientation, steam comes out the top and goes into the steam engine that we just built from that. So this is just filling out all these blocks and right-clicking this thing and it will build like this. So that's actually, I guess we can run it, but it's already full of power, but we'll fix that. So this thing will run off basically charcoal or coal. So let's just, this is so cool. Look at that. That's so cool. Let's take that out and let's put these in. And you can just, whoop, clicking in. You can click on a door to open and close it. So that's really cool. If you just click above it on the block, you can just open up the interface and see your fuel level and your heat. Water is supplied from the side here to the boiler. Boiler does not have an interface. Pipes pump over the steam into this thing, but right now it's not running because there's nothing to put the power in. So I guess we will copy one of these, put it down here. As you can see, they do not share power. I wonder though, but I haven't tried, if we put the interface. No, okay. Just making sure. This is basically your interface. So we want to grab one of these, which is an electric connector. We want to shift click that on. Then we want to get some cables, which is at the bottom here. Copper coil. We can replace that. And we can basically shift click that one, and ta-da! So the voltage needs to go up first before you get any power going in here. But that will kick off, there we go, our steam engine here, as you can see. This is how you can tell that it's running. I don't know if he has plans to animate this. As you can see, there are some things that are animated, but I found out a little secret. I don't know if this is like an Easter egg or something, but check this out. That's so cool. There's like actual gears in here, and I'm guessing like the way they look, so they might actually spin eventually, but maybe for a later date. Again, here's a connector on top in case you're wondering. So batteries, as you can see, this is a gauge of how much you're gaining. If it goes down, you're losing. If it goes up, you're gaining. So carrying on here to basically the sort of the next thing in the progression tree here is basically your furnace. That's what it comes down to. So you take the copper chunks, you put them in there. As you can see, we'll start burning it. You'll see that's using 20 watts. You'll see we're still gaining some power. And this one is losing power. Yeah, it's basically redistributing. And there we go. As you can see, it's burning it up. Now over here we have an inserter, but an inserter is technically also something that can take out, so it doesn't just insert, it also pulls. In the past I do believe these were animated, but they also don't have an interface, so I'm wondering if that's something to come for the future. But conveyor belts, as you can see, really cool. You basically just place them, here, let me show you. Just place them in the way that you're facing, as you can see. So that's really cool, and you can see the items going on. Basically another inserter here that picks it up and puts it in this crate. So basically this is your piping system, as it were. Moving right along here, we have a thermopile. As you can see here, they work off cold and heat basically. Again, top for power outs, going into a battery. Yeah, this is all you add to it and you get power. But it's very slow, as you can see here. That is not very quick, but it's completely passive. Like, you have nothing to do, nothing. Once it's set up, it will work. Moving right along here, the windmill. As you can see here, I have a lot of windmills. This is the actual wind turbine, and that's all you need for this. But it requires a certain height, as you can see here. So I was basically stacking these things, going like, how does this work? So as you can see here, wind not blocked, 61%, we have some wind, and we have power. Well, that's kind of an issue because it wasn't working. Wasn't working. Wasn't until this one it started to work because it actually placed the blades on here. So you don't need to put those in, you don't need to set them up. If it has enough room, which is the issue, then it will basically set up and it will generate power. As you can see, this has filled up over time, so it's generating a decent amount. Let's take a look here. 125 volts, so this is a pretty good source of power. So mid-game, pretty good. So that is sort of the early-esque game. Then once we start moving up here, we can build some solar panels. And again, this works with one of those blueprints. You place it down, you craft it, you place it down, you get this. And you basically fill out these blocks. And once you're done, you just right-click on the main block and it will form it. You can see here your power outlet is over there. Again, you put an electric connector on there, run your wires, Bob's your uncle. Moving right along here, we have the storage setup. The shelving unit is what it's actually called. You place it down again, fill it up, right click, and bam, you get this little beauty. Now, in case you don't know, I actually have quite a bit of history with this mod. I actually did a review on this mod when it was still called Ultratech. And I moved names over to Magneticraft. I've done 3 more videos on this thing actually in a couple of years that it's been out. So yeah, a lot of history. And this thing has been in for quite a while as well. The 1.12 is a complete rebuild though. So the features that were in the 1.7 version still need to be backported or forward ported, I guess, into this version. So how does this thing work? Well, once you get this thing built, you actually don't have any storage. What you have to do is you actually have to add chests for storage. And it has this really cool system where it just adds boxes. And then the more boxes you add, the more storage you get. How cool is that? Like, that's so awesome. So this is a different unit because it's a different shelf, as you can see. So yeah, you can search for items, as you can see. It won't show up. Right click to clear it. This is a machine block, so if we search for machine, ta-da, will pop up. So yeah, 3 different layers, as you can see. Really cool system. Very nice, I like it. Moving right along, so you've done the whole hammering manually, you get sick and tired of it, you want to move up in the world. Well, here you go. You have your, basically the electric sluice box. So I have it currently hooked up to an infinite energy because I didn't want to run cables everywhere. So let's take a look here. Again, you just have your power system. Power system in Magneticraft, by the way, is all about balance. So the more items you add, it will need to rebalance, and if it drops below a certain amount of voltage that that machine requires, it will not power it. So that is one thing to keep in mind. The voltage needs to stay up, otherwise you do not get the power delivery. So in here, you can see I have some gold in here, but let's take a look. So you take the, chunks. So this is basically what is replaced by that sluice box that we have over there. The small one we had to put water in. This is the electric version of it. So you put those in there. Oh, excuse me, wrong ones. You need to put these in there, the rocky chunks. There we go. I'll show you in a sec what we do with these. And it gets processed. Now, you might wonder, where does it go? Well, it took me a second to realize, but it's right down here. As you can see down here, let me remove it. It's right down there. There's a port. Let's make a day again. So that's where you pump it out. It's basically the bottom. You can hopper it or pipe it or do whatever you want, but that's where you get it. So moving right along here, you also, of course, want to crush your ores rather than having to hammer them, because nobody wants to hammer. Ugh. So in comes this lovely thing. Let's take a look here. The grinder, again, it's just a multi-block, as you can see here. This is all that's required. Again, check the book for more information, but you can very clearly see what you need. So yeah, it's not that difficult. Just look at them, look in JEI, and you'll figure it out. Place them all, right-click the main block, and bam, you get this little thing. So what can you do? Well, you basically chuck ore in. So let's throw some ore in. Let's see, bars move for progress. You saw an item in here really quickly, and it actually gets pulled out the back here. So as you can see, it's getting pulled out. So that is basically this stuff. You then want to pipe into this thing, which I'm pretty sure, actually, now that I think about it, I didn't realize this, but you can probably build this directly behind here and hook them up together and make it into one street, as it were, one progressing system. You could probably do that. I never realized that. That is really awesome. I'll have to try that, but yeah, I'm pretty sure you can by the looks of it. Like, it does seem like it should fit. See how that's like a input right up top there, and this is sort of an output with a slide? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that will work. That's awesome. So that's probably a thing, but again, I have not tested it, but that's probably a thing. Moving along here for some more power generation, we have this little thing. These items, I'll show you why we have those. This is the solar tower, I do believe the full name of it is. Where is it? Solar tower, yes. And the solar mirror. So we have the mirror down here, which is built as such. You can see here, it's a mirror. And this is a tower. What you need to do is you want to heat this thing up with the power of the sun to generate steam, and then that steam you can feed into that engine or multiple of those engines to generate your power. So that small little one there, that thing actually, to generate a little bit of heat there at the cost of coal is kind of expensive. This thing will basically do it better and faster. So let's take a look here. The output and input are down here, lovely marked as blue for input water and red for output hot steam. As you can see, boom, that is full. It just dropped, there we go. It just dropped some other water and created some more steam. It is currently powered by the mirror that's off to our left there. And let's also put our water down. As you can see, the water will fill up and it just generates steam. So you take that steam, you input it into the steam engine or multiple of those, and that's how you can do it. If you want to generate more steam, more mirrors. That's all there is to it. And then we go off to, I do believe, our last little thing for now. No, actually, it's two more things. Three, technically. Have you ever had those issues with that pesky water that's just bothering you? Well, worry no more. Now, I'm going to do this with an infinite electricity, but you'll get the idea, right? Just power this thing is what it comes down to. So, we'll put that right there. And boom. Instantly, it takes up all the water. I'll prove it. Gone. Yep. It takes up all the water and it will build some barrier blocks around it and create an entire dome around. So if I place some water down here, you'll see that in just a second, boom. Right there, right there. It will actually just protect you. And you can see the size of the bubble pretty much, and it will be a dome. So you can build this underwater and build a base. And the neat thing about this stuff is it's completely translucent for the player. So it holds back water, but you can walk straight through it. So really cool. It does require continuous power though. If I do break this, it will last for quite a while. A good 10-15 minutes or so with this internal buffer. But then it will fail and everything will come crushing in. So keep that in mind. Now heading over to sort of the last two items, and they're kind of intertwined, is a computer. And we have a miner out here. So the computer works with, let me scroll down here, floppies, as you can see here, floppy disks. If you don't know what a floppy disk, I'm not even going to get into that. It's from ye olden days. Do you remember a CD? Well, it's older than a CD. Basically, you can load in different types of OSs, I guess the best way of putting it. Technically, these are languages, scripting languages or programming languages, but for argument's sake, these are just operating systems. You load them in and you could program in that particular language and do stuff. So really cool. There's not much you can do with it right now, but there is a miner and it does require sort of the same system. So basically what you have to do, you pop in a shell disk in here. This is in the book, by the way. And you type in query and it will start digging and it will ask you how big does the hole need to be. So you pop in a disk, you hit this first one here, which is to turn on, and then you hit the last one to sort of boot it. So let's do that. As you can see, loading, you get this. You can type in help if you want to see the commands. And then we'll look at the very last one, query, because that's the main thing you're going to be worried about, right? So we type in query, and then we type in a number of how big we want the hole to be. Let's do a 3x3, shall we? So, as you can see here, we'll start mining. It's so cool. And it's waiting, it's moving, and how awesome is that? You can put a battery in here, but right now, I do believe, no, it does use power. It does seem to use some power, I guess. No? Maybe? I'm not sure. I read in the patch notes that I think for right now it doesn't actually burn up power, but it looks like it might be. Yeah, as you can see, it will just slowly start eating away your world. And then whenever it gets back to base, you could pipe it out here, the items. Like out of the top or something. So yeah, every time we'll come back, you can basically empty it out. It'll wait there. I'm pretty sure you can probably script more interesting stuff with this thing. It reminds me a lot of the old turtle, like the way they used to work. If you remember those were awesome. So yeah, waiting 5 seconds for inventory on unload. So yeah, again, you can just have it unload there. That's how it works. Oh come on, rain, go away. No. Do that as well. So yeah, that is the miner and that is Magneticraft. There is still a lot of stuff to come. Far from everything is in there right now. I don't know if they're actually machines, are they listed? Not in here. Oh, let's go back. I think they were listed in here somewhere. Machines? No, that's where I was I think a second ago. Super grinder, sieve, mechanics, no. Oh yeah, mechanics, there are some of the things. So electricity is implemented, but there will also be heat, radiation, and steam pressure. So there's a lot more types of power, as it were, coming, and types of forces that you can work with to either generate power or do stuff, move stuff, you name it. One thing to note, these are actually solid blocks, as you can see. So you can't move through here. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So you probably want this thing off the ground, which will more than likely make it more effective with the wind as well. You can see here, it's 40% wind. Have not tested this, but just observation, wind 30%, wind 40%. Yeah, the higher up the better, which makes sense for a windmill. So that is Magneticraft in a nutshell. Not the shortest video I've ever made, but this mod just deserves to take your time because it's such an awesome mod. And I know that the team is working really hard on making this thing, and I really like these kind of mods. So, well done to the team, and special thanks to Kaut, who actually fixed some issues I had with the miner here just before I started recording this video. So, very active team, I have to say. So that was awesome. And I think he's gonna upload tonight a hotfix, so everything should work again for everyone. And if not, you can always jump on the Discord chat that they have. I will link it in the description, and you can ask about bugs and features and that sort of stuff in there. So thank you guys for watching, and hopefully you enjoy this mod as much as I do. I love these kind of mods. I kind of love the visually automating things, not just having it running somewhere in the background, you know, in a pipe and you can't see anything. I love moving parts. I love being able to have conveyor belts to move stuff around rather than just a pipe that, you know, doesn't show you anything. Like, I like the world moving and alive and seeing like it making sense, you know, like I want an item from there to there. Let's move it with conveyor belts and chuck it in there, you know. I have no idea if it's actually a team. It used to be just him, but they moved to a team. I'm not sure if they are gonna animate these things as well. I'll see if I can get that answered for you. Not sure. So yeah, there you have it, the 1.12 version, a complete remake of the mod, and it's looking good so far, and I can't wait for the future. Once there's a ample amount of updates to this mod, I will do an updated video and show you some more. But for now, I think this will do. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will see what I can do, and otherwise hop in their Discord and ask them over there, because they seem to be very helpful, which is always nice. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.